welcome to Allshorts. Unfortunately, I had to restart the stream, so this is a second stream of a previous stream. Yeah. So basically what it is if you remember that we started a rewilding project to, plant trees and provide habitats for little living creatures or what have you. But unfortunately, we've got a bit of a dilemma that we have. Now I do apologise if those of you have lost the stream. Yeah, maybe somebody could tell the other people that we've restarted the stream. Still pixelated, damn! I'm on 4D, still pixelated. How do I get there? Build a pond! Yeah, I suppose we could do. I'd need a digger for that. Is it still pixelated then, is it? I'm on 4G now, that's really annoying. I wonder if we can move this a little bit. I'll tell you, we're in a bit of a funny spot here, you see. So what about here? Is that any better there? This is really annoying. So yeah, anyway, basically we've got this dilemma, and we've got a shortage of water, and because we're well fed here, and we're in a bit of a drought, and we've got water in the trees, and what we found yesterday is that what we don't. And they weren't kicked out, don't worry. We've got shortage of water, and we need to get a water bowser. What happened yesterday, we ran out of water for the house, which obviously we can't have that because it damages our pump. Not very helpful, no. And normally it's not a problem, but this year is especially dry, it really is. And apparently 10 departments in France are suffering water shortages at the moment, and this is one of them. And we've noticed that our well is a lot lower than it would have been this time last year. In fact, this morning we've had to fill it from the spring, which is also just trickling at the moment, just to get some water into the house. And that was after we watered the trees yesterday. And we didn't do that many. I suppose we did about 30, 40, maybe 50 trees we watered yesterday. With watering cans. That's 40 odd watering cans of yeah. Walking up and down there. Yeah. For those first trees that we put in those first ones that we can't really, I don't know if you can actually see them. They probably look like little sticks in the distance, but yeah, the first trees that went in. And they've got to be watered. So if they're not watered, they're not got enough root structure on them, you see, at the moment, and they'll just die. Because the ground's too dry. Because the water table has dropped to a point where it can't sustain the trees. Yeah, they've got enough root structure to actually, to, well, grow, survive the summer. Now, normally you'd be planting the trees in the autumn, you see, but because we started earlier in this year, part of the reason for that was that it was an idea that we've been toying with to do, and also here in France, many of the trees early in the season, they come up on offer, so they're cheaper. Otherwise the prices just go through the roof. And obviously once you do buy them, even at a lower price, you've got to stick them in the ground as quick as you can, otherwise they're going to die anyway in the pots. And what we've also been doing is we've been propagating and also collecting trees out of the forest woods and stuff, little saplings. And to be fair, they're the ones that have done the best. The trees that we bought are the ones that are suffering, not suffering so much, but they're clearly doing as well as the trees that just dug out of the ground in the woods. It's crazy. You think I'd have torn all the root off, but no, they seem to be doing the best. Also, we've been doing a lot of propagating as well, which you might, in a previous live stream, just to show you what we're doing, I just chuck loading buckets, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Quite cool, really. Sticks. Let's put sticks in buckets, and they grow roots. That's fun, it's like magic. You seem lucky not to be surrounded by too many trees. We are in the middle of, oh God, that's a good point actually, bushfires whole summer round. Always having the evacuation kit ready, getting the dryer and early in, getting the dryer. Getting dry early in, it is definitely, it's definitely dry here where we are in France, considerably so. And like I say, the water table has dropped, and it doesn't help because we've still got to water these trees. If we don't water them, we're going to lose them. So we need a water bowser, which is basically a water container on wheels that we can turn around with a quad or something like that, and then we'll be able to water the trees. I know someone's coming from the previous stream that I cancelled because my internet was really bad. I'm on 4G, but apparently, am I still pixelated? Hopefully the audio's good. Sounds terrible. Oh, not my sound. No. Yeah, bushfires are a bit of a worry. Look at Canada last year and places like that. It's shockingly bad. And in one of my blogs, this is just a bit of a digression here, but in one of my blogs, I talked about on my woodworking channel, not video blogs, also in the video blogs actually, but also a written blog on my woodworking on my website. Sorry. I talked about filtering the air and stuff because of dust, and you know, if you like me woodworking, I bring that lot of dust into the house, and I hate it when I sit there in the lounge, what have you, and watching the light trickling through the, you know, streaming in through the windows, and you see all little sparkles of dust. Well, that dust is all sorts of nasty stuff: dead skin cells, insect husks, and poo. We're surrounded by it. So what we did is we invested in some air filters. This was 2 years ago. A Lavoie air filter in the lounge, a big one in the hallway, does the ground floor, and I got one in my office, which does, because obviously my records have made a huge difference for carbon vinyl, and then we've got a couple upstairs as well. So we started off with this big one, and then we got some smaller units as well. But they're, when that all that the threat of bushfires and what have you was going on, obviously there's a hell of a lot of dust in the atmosphere, and people were worried. You know, they don't want to be ingesting all this stuff. So they're buying air filters, and they're landing onto my vlog and buying air filters via Amazon and places like that from the affiliated links, which I was quite happy about. But unfortunately, the circumstances aren't so great. No, not good at all. Oh, I also did another little video actually, like a little trick where I use a cooker hood filter and wrap the filter with a cooker hood filter, you know, the carbon ones, and that also saves the main filter, because the filters in these things are like 60 quid. You know, you want them to last as long as you possibly can, because 60 quid. So I wrap them first in a pre-filler, and that was no video did well. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, trees and gargoyles. Oh yeah, we made that now. Yeah, bit strange, I know, but hey-o. I still haven't put his lights in his eyes yet, but I've got them. So anyway, what were you saying? So hopefully the image quality is okay. Suspend a Hessian sack filled with cow manure in a water container, 40 gallon drum, ideal place, stems. Ideal place, stems. Oh, you could do that, Derek, but also I have an abundant supply of comfrey. If you're talking about feeding the trees, I tend to what to do is I literally chop loads of comfrey off, which is like a green manure, and I chuck it into, we put it in the watering cans, or I've got some water containers in the potager, the garden, veggie garden, and it stinks to high heaven, but we use that for our feed, and it has a really good mix of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate, potassium, phosphate, oh anyway, whatever it is. So that's what we use to feed our. We ain't got no cow manure here. I suppose we could collect it from the cows, or we could ask the farmer. That's true. Okay. I hope this one's a bit better this stream. I hope it looks a bit better. With your water issue, look at a ram pump or pulse pump. Both can draw water a long way and also above the head, i.e. places where, yes, you talk about them long, like a well type pump. I think they're a ram pump. Yeah, the kind of pump we've got at the moment. Hello, see folks. Hello, are you there? Or aloha. The pump we've got that feeds the house is a 2-pump system. Basically, we've got a submersible pump in the well, which takes the water, gives the lift out of the well to the main pump that feeds the house, which is a pressurised, sort of got a big cylinder thing with it, and that's pressurised. So effectively, it turns on whenever the pressure comes down. The pump tops the pressure in the cylinder, a bit like an air compressor, but with water, and that feeds our house. And generally, it's very good. And we haven't had a huge amount of problems. The only times we might be short of water, normally in normal circumstances, global warming, thank you, no, is in usually late July or during August when it's really hot. But this year it started already, and that's really concerning us because we've got to water these flipping trees, and we're going to have to water them. We're going to have to stage the waterings anyway, but we're going to have to draw the water at night into the Bowsers, which I can rig up, that's not a problem, but we ain't got a Bowser. So if anyone wants to chip in to 3 quid on the GoFundMe, which is either at the bottom of this channel, or bottom of this link, in the description, or I'll put it in the description later if not, that would be very helpful. Oh, crikey, it's just a bit of a worry, it really is. Anyway, these trees that we propagate, I want to show you because that's quite cool really, because we literally just, in this case, just a couple of buckets, I just chuck those cuttings of trees in, and the tree in question is that one over, if you see that tree over there, that one, that is a contorted willow, so it's like a twisted willow. Really lovely tree, and we've got 4 varieties of willow here. We've got Floribunda, which is that little pinkish one over there, which is rather nice. And there isn't the flower, that's actually the end leaves. They go like a variegated pink and green and stuff, which is rather nice. And then we've got sort of a common willow, yeah, the ordinary willow. And what's the other one we've got? And weeping willow we've got here as well. So we've got 4 varieties of willow, which we propagate. They propagate really well. But also a lot of hazel, for which we're able to do quite easy just by literally digging out the saplings out of the ground, and also a load of oaks as well that we've been moving on into a place that we can propagate them. So there's no good them staying where they are, because at the moment they're underneath our oak tree. So we've been little tiny trees at that tall, so we've been digging them up and moving them to a place that we can, either in pots, well I actually run out of pots now, but in pots so we can then move into their destination, which will be in this field, which runs right down the bottom, heading into the valley, up the other side of the valley there, but also, you can't see it there, but behind the camper, there's there's a large triangular field. And we've got over 2 hectares here, so it's quite a bit of land to look after, but also it's quite a bit of land to put trees on. And how we're doing it is, I've been marking where we're going to be putting the trees, because we want to maintain clearings, you see. You know, like the elephants have been there and they've created their clearings. So, is that still on? Is that still on? Yeah, it's still on, good. So I'll be going around with my ride-on mower, and I've been creating really short grass in places, and that'll be where our clearings are, and the rest of it we're planting up. Just a hell of a lot of area to plant up, so a hell of a lot of trees. At the moment we've done way over 100 trees have been actually put into the ground, and we've probably got double that have been propagated, and we've got, how many now? It's about 150, 200 trees that we've got on order with our local nursery, which is over yonder, over there. Never been there before until I started doing this. We drive past there so many times, this nursery. Everyone's like, oh, go to the nursery, it's really good. We've never been there until early this year, and then we made our order. So he's a funny guy though. I think he's stuck in the past. Seriously, in the past. He's got, you go into his office, and he's got all these like old calendars on the walls, like of naked ladies. I'm sure that's not good for business. It might be good for some business, but not that business. A lot of his customers are old days. They turn up usually on a Saturday or Sunday with their trailers and literally collect lots of trees, big ones as well. Yeah, what great trees, some of them. He seems okay. Oh, he's still pixelated. That's really annoying. I do apologise. Look out! I think Patel's she is! There she is! Pretty ugly Patel, there she is. In fact, I think that's just too good looking. She's sticking her tongue out, so it's not smirking. No. Anyway, to look on the bright side, you've got Alexander Boris Johnson rewriting the ministerial code. Aren't you happy? Just to save his own ass. You can't make this shit up. No, you really can't. Anyway, these trees, hopefully, I'm going to put you on this side, because I think the internet is better on this side, and I'll bring you, we've got a bit, see, regarding the 4G, we're in a bit of a pocket here. Yeah, there's a bit of a hole. So I'll put holes, we're going to create some holes as well. We're going to put these, and no, I'll put you over here. Because you don't see through a wire fence, that's silly. Anyway, down we come. Oh, the sun's got behind a little tiny cloud. As soon as the sun goes in, it's kind of, it gets cold. Right, here we go. See there's a bucket there. Let me show you my bucket. Oh, Granny's bucket. Right, here's one I've been starting with. I thought I'd start doing it, you see, sort of putting some along here. And we've got loads of these to go in. So we're going to create a layered hedge along here with willow. I thought that would be quite cool. So it's called pleaching. Now I've done a video on my other channel, the woodworking channel, about how to sharpen the bill hook, which is the tool you'd use to pleach. The pleaching is where you cut through the tree halfway through, and once it gets to that sort of height, you cut about halfway through, and then you layer it. And you might tie it down with sticks of hazel and stuff like that, and you create a barrier that way. But then you end up with a lot of vertical growth right along your hedgerow. This is going to be a hedge. It's not a natural hedge, that sort of kind of thing. I'm talking about habitats, you see, for animals and little creatures. Now, I've talked about this before in previous videos regarding this rewilding scheme, that I want to create habitats for it. It wasn't just about having trees, which is obviously very important. It's also about providing somewhere for the little blighters to live. Yeah, somewhere they can be left alone and not pestered by people and farmers. Yeah, the farmers around here have been chopping trees down like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's depressing. It really is depressing. By the way, I am still doing live stream tonight, so don't worry. 9 o'clock BST, British Standard Time. So, yeah, anyway, here's a bucket. And you've probably seen a bucket before, you see. But here's a bucket. And this bucket is where we literally had a bucket of soil, and I grabbed a branch of a tree, this kind of tree, this is a contorted willow. If you look at they're all like twisted, it twists round. And I cut them off into like foot long, 300mm sections, and chuck them in the soil. Like that. That's literally it. and now this is what we got. There was no growth on here at all when I put them in, and now we've got growth. Now I was a bit curious about it. I wonder if there's any roots from this. I tugged on them, you know. If I pull one off, I mean, I tugged on the trees. That is, yeah, not that wood. No, I tugged on the trees to see whether or not they just pull straight out again. Obviously, that'd be a sign to whether or not they're rooted. And believe me, they have. I was pleasantly surprised. I was. Remember, this was only what 6 to 8. I can't remember when I did that live stream. It must be. I don't know. I've got Wally over there now. It must have been 6 to 8 weeks ago. Well, it might have been a little bit longer, but anyway, that wasn't very long ago. Anyway, we've got trees. In fact, that's what they are. They're trees for nothing. So that's good. But I'll tell you what, in for nothing is a flipping Bowser. That's really frustrating me. Never mind. We will find a solution. I tried weighing on them, but I don't drink that much. So what we're going to do, I'll bring you a bit so you can see. This is what we got. Oh, that's turned into a gardening programme, look. This is what we've got. You can see all the root? That's all new, fresh root from these sticks that I just put in the ground. I think it's pretty amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that down here. Let's point you down a bit so you can see. I don't really want to move the camera too much because I might lose what connection I've got left. We'll give it a bash round with a stone in it. Oh, there's a bit of quartz. Oh, I can make a jewel. Or a watch. Right, we'll give it a bit of a bash to release that soil. I watered them before I start doing this to make sure that I'm not going to rip the roots too much. Basically sort of separate the root. Oh, don't want that one, that's a weed. No weeds, thank you. But if I just remove that one, say for instance, that gives you a fairly good indication what's going on here, look. And this is how easy it is. If you want to do any, you want any trees, 6 to 8 weeks, and that's what we got at this time of year, in a bucket. And you saw how many trees, there's probably about 12 trees in that bucket. And that's what we got. Now that's going to do quite happily, that will. You can see where I made my original cut at the bottom, across the bottom here. This is a stick. Yeah, it's a piece of branch stuck in the ground. I think that's amazing. I know it's been done like that for centuries, but still, I still find. Look out! I think Patel's behind. That's not a swap. Coppicing is the right word. Yes, coppicing is when you. Let's say, for instance, this is your tree. If anyone didn't know, that's your tree. It's in the ground's up to about there. Coppicing is when you chop that tree off almost at ground level, and then what you'll get is loads of fresh growth, multiple shoots, all from that cut. That's coppicing. But let's say, for instance, you didn't want to coppice your tree. You want it to look like it's got a bad hair day. You know when you see all the limes, like in the towns and stuff, especially in France, it's quite common in France, where you have these big trees, they all look like witchy. They really do look a bit like Pretty Patel, or witchy-like. Yeah. So you've got your trunk, and then you have all these like wobbly kind of gnarled branches coming off that tree, and that is called pollarding. And that's when you cut all this fresh growth, all the new growth, that previous year's growth, back to the woody growth. So you cut everything back. So you give it a really coarse hairdo, and then it gets all fresh growth again, like a big pom-pom of green on top of a kind of gnarly trunk structure. So you get this period of time when it looks really bare and bizarre, and then you get another time when it's got this giant pom-pom of green growth on top. That's called pollarding. And like I say, coppicing is when you cut it off at the ground. Now, coppicing is a technique quite often used in woodland management, especially here, well, in the UK as well, but also in France, they do it quite a lot in chestnut. So, creating poles, like these wooden poles here, that would have been probably a coppice tree at some point. So it would have been a big tree, that had been cut off at the ground, and you got all these new shoots come off, and every single one would have made a tall, long pole. And they do that every, say, 10 years, and they re-coppice, and those poles get sold on or used by the farmer or whatever. And I ain't got a problem with that, because it's kind of like, you're not killing the tree. Now, although it is possible to coppice oak, it is prone to die. You're less likely to get success. And it really bugs me, because you get a tree there, like that oak tree I got in my garden now, that's probably 50, 60 years old or more. Where I used in Sallows, we used to have an oak tree, well, it's still there, at the bottom of our garden. It was huge, it must have been 100 years old, you know? It just seems, when people chop these things down, I find it so sad. And it's habitat. Now, I know something about rewilding, and says I want to create habitats for animals. This year, since we've been doing this, and the more bird boxes I put out, and bat boxes and other stuff being put out, all part of this Go Wild and scheme with the GoFundMe, we've had such an increase of wildlife this year. I mean, considerably so. And I've never seen so many birds. Every morning, we wake up sitting on the bog. Well, I don't wake up sitting on the bog. We don't sleep on the bog, just let you know. When we go to the toilet, okay, poo with a view we've got. So we've got the window looking out to the view over this field behind us. So it's a lovely, 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 lovely outlook, it really is. Every morning we're getting hoopers, which are beautiful birds. They look like parrots. They've got a big, huge quill on there and long, well, parrots have a long beak, but these hoopers have a long beak, hence the name. And they're pecking at the window at us while we're doing our business. I feel quite embarrassed. It's a bit disconcerting, that it is. So yeah, it's we have seen a massive uptick in birds. We really have, and it amazed me that we actually even got this year already. Pretty much within a couple of weeks of putting them out, we got the great tits, blue tits, what have it, all in our bird boxes. Even the TIE Fighter bird box has got big great tits in it. They're still in there. You hear them all chirping away. They're getting ready to fly, I reckon. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing that if you provide creatures with habitat, they'll come. Build it, and they will come. Oh, never feel reference. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. So I do recommend it. There's something about wake up in the morning and you're surrounded by wildlife. Even in the cities, it's possible. They're desperate for places to go. They're desperate to be fed because there's very little for them unless you feed them. I'm not talking about the pigeons, the flying rats, no. Oh. Hang on, what we saying? No, we'll stick some of these in before these roots start drying out now, I hope no. So I don't really want the roots to dry. We'll water them as we go, because you have to. They do that with eucalyptus here in Portugal. Ah, right, yeah, no, eucalyptus, so we have, not eucalyptus, acacia. There's a lot of acacia here, which is a vicious tree. It has big old spikes on it. Ah, awful thing. And also it propagates by tithering, so the roots, they literally just shoot up sap and shoot all over the place, even across the road over here. But the wood is really good for poles. Really good for poles. It doesn't seem to rot very quickly for some reason. I don't know why. It's quite resilient. I love eucalyptus, but we've got. Oh no, we didn't buy one in the end. No, we got some limes instead because we were going to buy. Part of this, we were going to buy some eucalyptus. And we got a load of limes instead. because the eucalyptus we were going to buy were those were sold. So we will get some eucalyptus. Mad Monk says I've got 10 metres by 5 metres at my back garden. And I leave it wild for the wildlife. I bet that's your excuse, Mad Monk. Get a mower! They do these habitat. They really do. We're destroying the habitat. It's so, no matter what this flipping government decides to do regarding, well, in fact, it's actually their policy regarding the farming subsidy, because they got rid of the farming subsidy pretty much, haven't they? It's been reduced. And for anyone with the smaller farms, or the small holdings, they can't get anything anymore. It's all been reduced. Well, the actual minimum size farm, amount of hectares that you got up before you can apply for any kind of subsidy. So many of the smaller farmers, they're buggered. They're not getting anything, and many of them rely, including here in France, but luckily they're still getting there, aren't they? Because they're still in the EU. They rely on that subsidy. Now, the subsidy isn't just that, it's also payments regarding if you lose cattle. So let's say if you find a cow that's dead in the field, you get a payment for that, for the loss. So it's all that sort of stuff, it's all lost. They've lost all that now, farmers in the UK. And they put their cross in the wrong box, that's what they do. And, but their what's so-called rewilding scheme, many of the farmers in the UK, I've talked about this before actually, have decided that it's not worth growing food when we need food. So what they're doing is they're leaving fields fallow to do their thing, which is fine. I think it's great in that sense. But I do appreciate that people need to be fed. And when we've got what's going on in Ukraine and not enough grain, they can't get the grain out of Ukraine. They've got the silos already full. They've got the crops that need to be harvested, and they've got nowhere to put it because the grain isn't being emptied at the silos because they can't get it out of the country. Not in the degree that they would have done before. They can't buy Mariupol, obviously. Odessa's been blocked, so they effectively can only go by land. So, land haulage is not as great. The loads are much smaller than what they are by sea, so that they're stuck. What's wrong with the sound? The buzzing? I'll tell you what, I'll just swap the microphone over. That'll be this. There's obviously something conflicting with it. Let me put the microphone into... Okay, so there you go. Is the sound any better? There is wind, remember, so let's put that back on, put that up there. Does that sound any better? I'm now on the other microphone. I was on the radio mic, it might be getting some interference from somewhere. Yes, sound is better. Okay, fine. That's good. I'll just have to... The only thing, it might fade out when I get further away from the microphone, so I have to shout. Thanks, Mad Monk, for that. Was it doing that all the way along, or was it just started? They do it eucalyptus. Yeah, that was the last time. I haven't got the charger plugged in at the moment. It's there just in case, but I haven't got it plugged in. I've got this new device that I use for, I think it's actually the radio mics themselves. It's when I'm using these things. So I've got these radio mics, and normally they're quite good, but sometimes they're a bit glitchy. I should have spent more money and got the Rode ones, but I couldn't afford it. So it's, yeah, I've got this new device which is the adapter for the phone, and that does appear to work a lot better. And I haven't noticed. Oh, it's lunchtime! Yum yum. Food. I like food. Hello, how's your bike? I've been going out on my bike, my Suzuki. I've been taking it out a few times. It's louder now. Is it veg? Perfect. Okay, I might have to just stick with the radio mic. And with the Rode. I've got the little Rode microphone on the top, my fluffy one on the top there, you know. It is a good microphone. That's not radio mic versus anything. Okay, anyway, let's get these trees in the ground before the roots dry out. So, yeah, so we have these trees, and they're all in there like that. So, that one there, look. That one there, one bucket full of trees. Try not to damage the roots. And that one's got the root on there as well. Try to keep as much soil on as we can. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trees in that one bucket. Plus the other bucket, which I think I've got more in that one. Look at that. That's holding on to that soil there. That's full of root. They're happy. But obviously, when I put them in the ground, I have to make sure I keep them watered. Obviously, while in the buckets, they have to be watered as well anyway. So, if anything, I've got to transport the water up here. So let's dig some holes. Don't forget, we are going live tonight at 9 PM GMT. I'll try and on GMT and BST. I'll try and be on time. I was last week. Are you surprised? Just a bit. There's that. Hole digging time. One's in there. Oh, I tripped over a lump of muck. I'm putting them at a metre apart because they're going to be layered. So it's called pleaching. When you lay your trees, it's called pleaching. Remember to speak up because now you're further away. So in it goes. Oh, you like a man at work? A lot of clay in here, which is actually a good thing. Because what that does is the clay will retain moisture for longer. Where's my matlock? Oh, come on, matlock, come on, boy. I'll use that just to soil at the bottom. Oh, it's a big rock. Oh, big rock. That'd be good for the mower. Loosen the bottom up. I'm not one about putting feed in, and not with a willow. I'm just to make sure that the I say feed, I will be putting feed in because I'm using the comfrey water. You know, liquid fertiliser. Green stuff. Now, although we are not on mains water here, we could have it if we wanted it, but we're trying to do the off-grid thing. I don't really want to be having mains water. And it would cost a flipping fortune to water these trees as well, so that wouldn't be very helpful. Got a tree, put it in the ground. But before I put it in, I'm going to put some water in the hole. The thing about willow is you can pretty much grow that straight in the thick water. I didn't with these ones, but sometimes what you can do with willows, you can actually do all you can, stick it in a bucket of water, leave it for a while, you'll see a lot of nodules to start growing on the bottom. That got that away. And then you've obviously got your the start of your roots. It's a bit of a strange political video. I just want to give you a bit of updates. You know, I hadn't talked about it for a while regarding the rewilding, and many people did contribute, which was great. I think we raised about €1,300. But the trees were a bit more expensive than we first imagined. Some were okay, some were quite reasonable, but to get the variety, some were quite expensive. So that money did get eaten up quite quickly, actually. And we're now in a situation where we need to, by September, the bigger trees, they need staking. So it's not a worry at the moment because the risk of wind is low at the minute. Still get wind, but nothing to be a problem. We get a lot of wind here usually after I've eaten, and October, sort of normal sort of end of the summer season. It's breezy today, but that isn't really a worry at the moment, to be honest. Our ground is hard here. Like I say, we're going to layer these trees into a hedgerow, and we've got a family of hedgehogs living in the bread oven. Not literally in the oven, but under the units in our bread oven. Because we use our bread oven still. The bread oven is a traditional bread oven. And what I've done is I've created a huge bread oven. I mean, it's massive inside. And you can't really use it as, just for us, because it's just too big. It just takes too much wood to heat it up. So what we've done is, I've got a load of fire bricks and basically created an oven within the oven. So it's still using the traditional oven, but it's smaller in size, so it doesn't take a lot to heat up now. And it's nice cooking on a fire, or using wood to cook with instead of gas. Especially at the moment, because gas is expensive as well anyway, and also it's getting hard to come by. Bottled gas here, I don't know what it's in the UK, has gone up in price, understandably so. I like my matlock. do like the matlock. What it says funny, but I mean actually, a lot of the tools there, not these ones, these are actually English forks, but apart from the handle's French, a lot of the tools are actually found in the ground. Renovated, put handles on. This was, I found that head, that I found in the ground, dug it up. That and old tractor parts, and old hubs of trailers, and farm carts and stuff. Found a couple of old axles. They're huge, they are. Big cast iron axles. I don't know what to do with them. Yeah. Make sure I get nice and deep. I want the roots to have somewhere to go. What are you doing out there, Wally? Yeah, not sneaking off to see your girlfriend, are you? No, you're going to plonk yourself down there, are you, boy? Oh. They had their flea treatment yesterday. I don't like giving them flea treatment unless I really have to. Because there's Wally has a heart condition and so does Sebastian, so I'm a bit worried about giving them stuff that's not too healthy. You've got to be too fussed with them. Willow, they don't mind. You can literally, unlike if you do a fruit tree, because they're usually grafted, if you put the soil above that little that node, that'll start rooting from the top and you end up with an unwieldy tree. But yeah, because willow can pretty much root all the way up if you like. You know, it's you can plant them as deep as you like. But I'm keeping it low around the plant because of the whole water. So there's the water to go in like a little well of water. Oh, push the soil down. Oh, get it in around those roots. And flood the roots. They're put these about a metre apart. So what will happen eventually, once these get to about this sort of height, we'll start encouraging them to lay down. So normally when you lay a hedge, you actually lay a hedge, if you're doing bleach, you don't lay your trees in an angle, but they all shoot up anyway, sideways. So what we're going to do is we'll bleach them. When they get big enough, with fresh green growth, we'll bleach them across this fence line, which is literally layering. Oh, my giddy on! Oh, big stone! Quite excited about doing this rewilding as well. With the habitats and that, it's amazing, really. I just do find it quite fascinating to see wildlife, the levels of wildlife to increase. My neighbour once used willow sticks to prop up his tomato plants. He had 50% willows wherever he put them in the ground. Yes, he would do. If you're going to do any willow cuttings, the best ones are from woody cuttings. So if you use something like a cane or something like that from an old willow, it will root. Most definitely will root. Provided it's got water, that'll root. That looks like good soil you have there. Yes, he was my brother. I was at my brother's to paint his garden bar. Oh yeah, you're doing your tiki bar. Garden bar. It ended up doing a new flower bed too. It was all clay and rubble. New build garden. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, now I'll tell you what, you'll never ever buy a new build that happens to be the last house built. Take my word for it. Don't do it. No. What you'll find what happened is all the rubble from the diggings for the footings from a row of houses pretty much ends up in the end garden. Because you see, they scrape the ground back to one place and they bury it in the ground. Been there, done that, seen it. This was Wilkin Homes. This was when I was in the UK. We had a contract with Wilkin Homes. And yeah, that was pretty much what happened. It was the norm. And it isn't just Wilkin Homes. Others used to do that as well. Other, house builders. They all did it. it's cheaper, you see, than getting rid of it. And what do they do with it? Unless they've got somewhere to take it, unless they need it to build land up somewhere, which does happen. Oh God, we did have an instance where, we had the grounds maintenance contract for Wilcon as well as fencing and stuff like that, years ago. In when that'll be, 2002, maybe a bit earlier, in the 2000s, early 2000s, after the millennium and everything stopped. No, it didn't. And basically, we had to go. There's a field that they're trying to get taken. Had to be taken over by the council, and the council refused to take it. The council would always look for excuses not to take on a playing field or play apparatus or something because they don't want to pay for the maintenance. Meanwhile, the building contractor is working really hard to keep the field in good condition because they want it taken over. So they end up spending quite a bit of money. We had a team of people on the field stone picking. I'm not worth a lie. This must have been about 4 acres. 4 acres. And it was like you go, I know you're trying to find a body somewhere, you know, in the brush. But no, picking stones. Little tools and picking the stones out of the ground. I tell you can't make this up, you really can't. It's nuts. Just so they can get to the council to the point where they can't refuse to acquire the land. You know, to take responsibility of the land. Otherwise, the actual contractor has to carry on maintaining it, and they do a better job of maintaining it because they want to get it taken over. So yeah, they get to spend a lot of money. Big stones. They've got a lot of clay in the soil, but that isn't a bad thing. Clay retains water, you see. So as long as you can get it to absorb the water, it will retain the water. Now normally, if that gate was open, that little Wally dog over there, he'd have done a runner by now, looking for his girlfriend in the parade. But I think he's impotent. I think he's lost his sexual urge since last year. Often, used to have a tracker. Attractive, and this tracker used to tell us where he was. So go onto the app, we could find our guy. He's in the parade again, which is another little hamlet up there. Where there's a nice little bitch for him. Yep. I've got a very saucy video, actually, of Wally. I don't know if I should share it with you or not, but he had a girlfriend called Vodka, and Vodka is a Rottweiler. She's not here anymore, actually, but anyway, Wally used to go and see her, and we didn't realise this until he came back with Vodka, and he how to put it, completely and utterly exhausted, and it's like Vodka, because the Rottweiler is a big dog. Wally's a little dog. All the blood must have rushed out of his head into his nether regions. And oh my giddy aunt, it was huge. Once he finally let go, it's just like his hips just constantly swinging like that. And it's like this. And he'd walk around in circles and fall over. I think I was a bit light-headed. Yeah. He was on a bender. Was my Wally. But yeah, it was it made me laugh, but Caroline came running in. He says, Marcus, there's a problem with Wally. He can't stand up. I quite hope that. He's literally laying on his side in the ditch, and he managed to get him up. And then he started walking around in circles, and around Vodka as well. How the hell did he manage to do it? Because she's a big dog. But I didn't realise, but they do that. If it's a big dog, they will actually lay down if they want it. Yeah. Missionary position, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, that's probably too much information. Bring the first, complete bell end. Are you talking about Elon Musk? Duke Vengeance? Oh, you are. Why don't Elon Musk go himself to Mars and make history? Yeah, he said he won't go to Mars before the end of the century is what you're saying. Does Elon Musk? He'll be dead anyway. Probably dead if you try. It's quite a long way to travel to get to the planet called Mars. Isn't that close, you know? You're not going to catch a bus. No. Maybe that is the future. Maybe we'll have interstellar, bus routes. No? Maybe. It does surprise me how they trivialise the the risk of space travel. You know, at the end of the day, it's pretty dangerous, isn't it? I can't imagine many people are going to survive it. What if you get an appendix while you're there? Who's going to take that out? Appendicitis. Not get an appendix because you already got one. If you hadn't already had to take it out, that is. Another tree! I need another tree! Oh, they're all the way over there. Oh my god, I'm just going to have to go and get a tree. There's 3 little trees I found earlier. There you go. There's a baby one. It's got root on it. That'll be fine. And I'll take it right up to there, like so. It'll be nice and deep. Don't matter with willow. Just don't do it with fruit trees. They've been grafted. Stone look like that. Got to get in there, you know, get your hands all dirty. Oh, you can't see. There. See, I got a hole. I'll just put a tray in there. Oh, there. Get your hand in there. Can't be finding a bit of old muck, can you? No. What, monkeypox though? Oh my god, you don't get that. Get all lumpy. We'll get all lumpy there. Good. Not be funny, I'm past worrying about it being lumpy. I'm lumpy already. Let me be a woman or what have you. The idea, you can imagine mentally how difficult that would be if you got this monkeypox and it all scars. Quite frightening. Really hard ground there. There you go, here it goes. There's the side. So these trees, they won't need staking, because they're small anyway, it'll be a problem, and they're going to layer it. So there's no point in staking these. No point in staking these at all. Oh, where's my Wally? Oh, he's over there now. That's okay. He's not running off. That's a good boy. God, it's windy. Oh, thanks, Veg Boy. Excellent. That can go towards our Bowser Fund. That's what we need. We need the Bowser Fund. So if anyone might chip in, that'd be really helpful. And the Bowser is basically a big water container on wheels, so we can water these trees. We're really worried because of this drought. If people hadn't heard already, but we've got quite a bit of the drought situation here where we are in France, and for us, because we're not on mains water, we rely on our well water. Oh, the phone's only falling out of the holder. It's quite, yeah, cheers, Veg Pie. Really appreciated. But it's good to, do this sort of thing anyway. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy doing this anyway, in the sense of providing habitats, but also planting some trees, because obviously we need trees. We need to compensate for all the ones that we're losing. The idea we're ever going to keep up with the need regarding global warming is pretty darn slim, considering that you've got the likes of China, who happens to be mining more coal and not just releasing carbon dioxide, but really releasing methane, which is probably the worst greenhouse gas. So it's not very helpful, and that's because we keep buying stuff from them. Plain and simple. I do too. You know, we all, we can't really get away from it. If you need something or want something in particular, well then you can't really avoid it. The only way to avoid it is not to buy it. But some things you can't really, in always a case of want, sometimes it's necessity. Okay, Derek, you take care, buddy. So a kit like grill. Nothing special, just like Blackpool on a sunny day. Really? Is that what it's like there, is it? I've never been myself, have you been? To Mars? The first guy on Mars will be an accountant. I hear the tax rate there is amazing. Maybe we could send somebody like Jack Rees-Mogg, maybe. Or any other tax avoider come to that. There's plenty of them. And I'm always looking for, you know, I wonder if they make it into a free port. The story of the free wells. Well, I've got one well. Well, actually, we've got two wells, but one of them doesn't actually do anything because it's been filled in, not by us, but that's filled in when we got here. And that was easier to re-dig a new well. So yes, we dug a well, then actually reinstate the old one because it's in such a bad way. And you never get down it because it's too narrow. It's an old stone well. Oh, definitely, it'll be like firing out of a cannon and pop out the end. So yeah, we do need to find solutions. Hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully. I'm a bit concerned right this moment regarding it because obviously we keep running out of water. We did yesterday, and I really need to find a solution. Otherwise, how the hell am I going to water all these trees? There's so many of them. And there's, you know, I don't know what the cost is going to be, but it's going. If I make one, I suppose I could probably make one for like €200 or something like that. The container, what sort of container you need? It's fairly resilient. The container's probably going to be about 150, but if I bet €250, I could probably build one. So I've got the wheels, I've got some steel, so that ain't a problem. Hopefully I can do it. If not, it's going to be watering cans. Oh my god. It's bad enough now. So we're holding back as much water as we can. We've got baths, well, it's seen already, we've got baths all over the flipping place. Old baths that are full of water. Also, water containers, but it ain't enough. We just need so many. If I just walk past the tree, did I always have enough? Do I already have a tree here somewhere? Oh, there's one. There's two. Ugh. I'm losing my trees. In you go. That water, that'll drain away that water there, so that'll drain to absorbed by the clay in the soil. So this year we want to concentrate on the field that's behind you, and then next year we want to start on the other field. So actually it's free field with the bit on the other side of the valley. That's actually free fields, but that one might have to be the following year. Yeah, because it's not just the planting of the trees. Putting the trees in don't actually take that long. It's the actual you've got to maintain them, and then there's obviously if they need staking, but then that's all got to be done as well. And the other thing I've got to do, actually, this is actually really important. I need to get a load of stakes, just short stakes for markers. I accidentally chopped a tree down with a ride-on mower the other day. There's only one that we got out of the field, but because it's small, the grass around it was so tall I couldn't see it. So I chopped it down. I was quite depressed about that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create loads of stakes with white blobs of paint on the end. So they're higher than the grass, so I know where they are. They seem to make sense to me. See, the smaller trees, they don't require full stakes, because by the time they become tall enough or big enough to be a problem with the wind, they'll have a root structure. So they'll be fine. I hope you can hear me when I'm away from the microphone, because obviously I'm about a metre away at the moment, maybe 2 metres away, metre and a half. Split difference. It's quite odd though, because this time of year in France, anyone in this area in France, because we're sort of like stuck between two mountain ranges, so we're in a bit of a microclimate, and just where we are, normally around this time and into June is our rainy season. So we've got no rain forecast whatsoever, not to speak of. We had a little bit the other day, but that was nothing hardly. Besides, it was nearly all hail, besides the golf balls. Actually, it was last Sunday when I did the stream when I was live last Sunday, remember? We had golf ball rain. Well, it wasn't golf ball rain, it was golf ball hail. Ice, lumps of ice come out of the sky. There you go. Pop a little bit of water in to get going. And then put another one in. So I had them on my feet a minute ago, and now I can't see it. Oh, there it is. That's only a small one, but it's still got plenty of root on it. I fancy changing the bloody ministerial code, eh? That's really... This is tyranny. You know? Dictatorship, that's what it is, a dictatorship. The UK, I think it's officially a dictatorship. They just changed the rules to suit themselves, that's what they're doing. Now I am uploading some videos, I've done some scripts. I was going to upload one today, they decided they're going to go live instead. But I will be uploading some videos starting next week. I'll be going tomorrow morning, should have one on. And I'll go from there and see what happens with the channel. I want 72 a day. I need to build the subscribers up. So what I need to do to try and... The channel needs funding. Because I can't live on nothing. Well, we can't. Obviously, I don't think anyone can. And the story is that when we first started this channel, it was doing really, really well. It took over my life. And it was earning money. And not a huge amount from the views and stuff, from the adverts on the channel. But it was enough for us to survive on, so we went all in on it. And then, as you already know, because I've whinged about it enough, it took a downturn, quite a major downturn, and now we just can't survive on it. Literally, it's just, no. I think we're earning about 50, or not even earning 50p to £1 an hour, not even that. You're working that time you put into it. It's just not sustainable. So what to do? So my point was that I need to get to 10,000 subscribers if possible. So if I can get the channel to 10,000 subscribers, I can then have a merchandising button on the bottom of the channel as well. So like for the t-shirts and stuff like that we sell. There will be a link then below if you do want my t-shirt. That all helps. No, it's not just propaganda. It's not just publicity for my own marketing. This is usually sort of comical stuff, really, to do with what's going on at the moment. Politics. There you go. There's another tree. Oh, I do like a good old tree. I do like these willows. They're lovely. That's about a metre. Oh, let's see what's... Let's get a bit closer. I'm getting further away, aren't I? Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Come back. What's happened? How do I get rid of that? Oh no! Oh, normal. Oh, this rubber's come up on the bottom here. Ah, oh, damn it. Oh, I see what I've done. I think it's that one, isn't it? Yeah, it's gone. With all the law changing going on, he'll be crowned King Boris in autumn. Yeah, I reckon so. Nicholas Schmidt. Before that, my friend. Yeah, probably next week, I reckon. He'll declare himself by decree. I am King Boris. And then what he'll do is have the special wave as he's coming past in his car. He'll be like royalty, he will. He's already doing it, but he'll do what the Queen has done and, yeah, influence policy. Oh, he's already done it, yeah. Just like a king or queen. There's a dead cat on the mic. Yes, there is. I'll show you if you like. Well, you got you got lots of dead cats going on in government, haven't you? So I thought I'd have my own. Yeah. You see it there? My dead cat on the mic. It's a little Rode microphones, ideal for the. Oh, I've got super chats. Didn't see that. I saw veg pies. Super chat. Oh, thank you very much. Mad Monk. Oh, cheers, buddy. For a wee tree, Marcus. First super chat I've ever done, but worth it. Oh, cheers, buddy. Excellent. Oh. Oh, Nick Schmidt. Oh, cheers, buddy. Oh, I've got a super chat from Veg Pie. Just talking towards trees or towards a way of watering the trees. It's also another good idea. And also some steak. And we need to try and, you know, well, there's no point putting trees in, they're going to die, is it? It seems a bit silly. So, you know, it's quite important. And we'll try to provide habitat for these little birdies and stuff, and other animals. Another thing that I'm going to be making, I'll go make an owl. It's a bit late in the season to do it now, so we're going to be doing an owl house for the end of the barn. So we get owl pellets everywhere. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah. So I'll put an owl house on the end of the barn, but also more bat boxes, sort of bat roosts. We've done some already. But I want to put some more in the woods over there, where the trees over the corner, just to provide more habitat. But this year, since we've done this, hello David, hi buddy. Since we started doing the tree lark, put all these trees in, and also all these extra little houses for the ant with the birds. Like I said before, we've seen a huge, must have doubled, must be at least twice as many birds here. And whereas last year we only had one family of hoopoes, we must have 4 here now. So it's been, I think it's a success so far. And I wouldn't be able to do it without your help, to be fair. It's raining here. Oh, is it, Eddie? No, it's not raining here. We've got a nice blue sky. I'll show you if you like it. How blue is that? Lovely. Hello, amigo. Hola, hola. David. Hello, Joe. I hope well, buddy. I'm here. Just can't talk much. I'm kitty-proof in my bedroom. Oh, right, okay. You got cats, have you? Oh, God. Yeah, we've got 1 cat. We did have 2, but Buzz died, so yeah, he went very well. With all the law change going on, a fascist dictatorship. You ain't wrong there, Duke Vengeance. I just can't. I can believe it because it's the type, but the problem is the Tories are complicit. Why aren't they sending these letters in? Behind the scenes they're complaining, but won't do anything about it. Yes, Duke Vengeance says the Sue Gray report is a waste of time. It's been doctored. Yes. The first I heard about it was in, I don't know if you shared it on Twitter maybe, or somebody did. It was regarding the what's it called again? The source code. The source code pair that had been edited. So you can't hide from this stuff. The only thing is we don't know what it's been edited from. That's part of the problem. So, but the fact that it has been edited, it's not as it should have been. Now, Sue Gray really should be speaking up about this because she'll know. Why hadn't she said anything? It should have been leaked. That's what they should have done. They should have just leaked it as it was. Oh, in my rainbow. Hello, Jack. It's raining, men. It's rain. Oh, God. I know you wanted to be raining Jeremy Corbyn's and Graham Hughes. I would definitely not. I'd rather have Jeremy Corbyn's and Graham Hughes. I've spent 6 weeks with Graham Hughes. No, thank you. No, definitely don't rain them on me. No, he's a nice enough chap, but I couldn't live with him. Definitely not. I tried. Dead cat on the mic. That there is. With all the law change going on, he'd be cranking Boris. That he will. So Boris just wormed his way into out of another scandal. Ready for the next one. It's one scandal after the other, but don't worry, it could be worse. We could have Nadine Dorries doing a rap. Oh, she did. I forgot. I do apologise, but she did, didn't she? Oh my God. That was. It's kind of that. It was. There's no expression on her face. It was bizarre. It was really bizarre. If anyone's saying that, it's really bizarre. Okay, see, Philip. Oh, you got to sleep. Yeah, we'll see you later, buddy. You need a black IBC. What's it? To heat the water up. The IBC containers, everyone don't know, they're like a square wart contained in a metal frame. That'd be actually ideal. You wouldn't need to fill it right up, but obviously water splashes about, so that would actually work very well actually in IBC. Because they're sub-supporting, because they've got a metal framework around the bottom and then within a cage. The actual containers themselves are not that thick plastic, but with the metal cage. They used to be used quite a lot for like supplying chemicals and all that sort of stuff, but you can actually buy the IPCs quite. Actually, I don't know what they are at the moment. Last time I looked, they're about €120 an IBC, and they're 1 cubic metre. I don't know if you probably get smaller ones actually. It'd probably make more sense. Yeah. The only problem is though, if you buy the new one, I hadn't seen new black ones, only clear ones. The problem with the clear ones is that the water go green. So you get a lot of algae growth inside the water, which we don't really want. Oh, it looks like I've got family turning up. I've got grandchildren here. Oh, I prefer... you prefer Graham Thursday, okay. Quick advice, look into the passive dripping system for watering trees. Ah, I hadn't thought about that. There's a lot of trees to do it with. Are you talking about like water containers with like drip, drip, drip sort of thing? I think I'll have to look into it. I don't know too much about it. Mad Monk says, Glasgow is very upset that you didn't think of him first. I was speaking to Glasgow the other day because he couldn't make it last weekend, so we had quite a long chat the other day. You remember Argentina bank crisis? Yes. Some specialists are starting to say Spain is on the way of being bankrupt. My money is under the sofa. Just you might have something in there. They're really suffering, financially suffering, but so is everyone else, and that causes problems for Spain as well. It just oh, here we go. I've got a grandchild. Who are you?
Sophia.
You're Sophia. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
This is Sophia. She's come to say hello. Is it because it's Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Ah, it's Mother's Day here in France, just in case you didn't know. So you've got people see that, they're looking at you. Oh, who's she? Is that what they're saying? That's what they're saying, shall we? Hi Sophia, says Jack. Hello Sophia, said David. And Glasgow, oh no, Glasgow kiss. So people are saying hello. So this is my little, and Ben, hi Sophia. And Nigella says hello. She comes to see Nana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you got Nana a giant present?
No.
Oh. What are you doing? What are you sitting down out for? What's that for? It's got muddy fingers. I've been planting trees, look. See these trees? Do you know how we grew them? We grew the trees by cutting sticks and putting sticks in the ground, and they grew into trees. See those over there? They were sticks. Isn't that mad? Sticks grows into trees. Hello there.
Sticks grow into trees, Mummy.
Yeah, that's what they are over there. They're sticks. We're going to grab one. We'll grab a stick that's grown into a tree. Ah, look at the roots. And she comes with a stick that's grown into a tree. What sort of tree is that, do you think? Do you know what sort of tree that is? It's called a willow tree. You see all the little branches all like twisted? They're little twisted. They're not straight. They're trying to twist. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's because it's what you call contorted. Can you contort? If I try and squeeze you into a box that's smaller than you, I'd have to contort you. Bend you round until you get into the box. Is that an idea? Do you like that idea? You don't like that idea? You don't want to go in the box? What if I put you in the box and try to post you? Can I do that? I'll give you a straw so you can breathe. No? Where should I post you to?
Mummy and Daddy.
To Mummy and Daddy.
Come on, give that from there.
Oh, that's cool. Sticks that grow into trees. Oh, that's very cutting. Remark. Hello, MK Armadillo, buddy. We were talking about Elon Musk a minute ago. Elon Musk and his trip to Mars. By the end of the century, but I think he might be dead. I don't think he's going to survive that long, unless well, maybe he's got a cryo tooth and he's already sleeping in it. But it didn't fit, it didn't work for Michael Jackson, did it? No, it didn't. No, so maybe not. Yeah, it's lovely here, Ben. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely place. We're very fortunate to live here. And although we are struggling a little bit financially, but it's we don't need a lot here. That's the other thing. Our bills are much lower than what we're paying in the UK. Things like our council tax and stuff like that, the equivalent of it's about 300 or 400 euros a year. So everything's, apart from, if it wasn't for the fact that we pretty much lived off the land in the sense, with the garden and stuff like that, food is I think food's more pricey here than it is in the UK. Although that is going up in the UK considerably. So it's our cost of living is low. But do you know what? If you feel a bit down, we'll have you just go for a walk, and what we got here, we've got countryside. And you can escape stuff. Can't escape the grandchildren though, can we?
No.
No. What do you reckon? What have you been doing today? You miraculous ladybug? It just says there, miraculous ladybug. Yeah. So I've got my little miraculous ladybug has decided to join us. So why are you a miraculous ladybug?
Because my t-shirt,
Yeah.
I just love Ladybug, and she actually is marionette in the daytime, and in the night she actually turns into a superhero.
Yeah.
And then she's miraculous.
And she's miraculous.
Yeah.
Now, did you know that ladybirds, those little spotted ones, did you know that they're really good for the garden? Because their larvae, before they grow into a ladybug, they're like a little bug thing, like a creepy crawly thing with little legs on the front. Yeah, they're actually quite pretty, but they don't look like a ladybug. They're orange and black, but they can eat, and they're in their lifetime around 500 aphids. Yeah, so they're very good for the garden. Because the aphids, what do aphids do? Do you know what aphids do? They're like little green flies, and they suck the life out of plants. So what they do is they latch onto the leaves of plants, like tomato plants for instance, usually the fresh green stuff right at the top here, and they suck all the life out of them, and they go wilt, they go like that, all bend on the end, because they're covered in these aphids and these little green bugs. But then here comes the ladybugs, they come along, and they eat them all. They eat the nasty bugs. So they're good, ladybugs are good. We like ladybugs, ladybirds, they're good. What do you reckon? Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
So whenever you see a ladybug, don't stamp on it, will you? No, we've got to nurture the ladybugs because they're good for the garden. Because they eat all the nasty stuff, the stuff that damages our plants. We don't want that, do we? Because what do we grow in the garden? This is one for Lee Anderson, you see. So you can grow your food, so you can get a 30p meal. So what do we grow in the garden? Remember what we grow in the garden? Because you had a garden here as well, didn't you? You got a garden at home, haven't you, where you grow food. Some tomatoes, peppers. Did you grow courgettes last year? You did, because I know you did. What about this year? You got courgettes this year? Yeah, I know you have. You got tomatoes? Oh, you remember the tomatoes? You got tomato plants. So, but because you've grown all that food, that means that food that you're eating out your garden hadn't had to travel, because normally they go in big lorries and they'd be driven across the country from other countries. Sorry? Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Dom. I've lost my granddaughter. I've lost my helper. I think it's Mother's Day. I'm stealing her. The wonderful solar panel. Yep, we have got our solar panels, and we're quite good here because obviously we get quite a bit of sun, but probably too much at the moment, to be honest. It's drying everything out, so it's quite hard to keep up with. Oh, she does like Peppa Pig. I tell you, her little sister loves Peppa Pig. She always carries a little Peppa Pig around with her. I was thinking about drawing a Boris Johnson, stitching some fur on his head. Oh my god, the Tory nasty pie are aphids, sucking the country dry. Oh my giddy aunt Betty, you're well on there. Betty Swallocks. How's Austria? Yeah. Aphids, oh the little jaggery smogs, that they are. No, she's a lovely little girl. Oh my god, David, no you don't, do you? I'm Phil Graham. I sleep with his signed book every night over my heart. you might be able to suffer a couple of nights like that, but after that, my giddy aunt, you'd be putting it in a drawer. Oh yes, she was. Yes, she was in the little video. Which said the solar panels, wasn't she? A while back. No, she's a sweet little girl, and she does. Yeah, she's a good little girl as well. And also, she's just learned to ride her bike. Amazingly, they literally walked around. They've got a little track thing around play apparatus, and they walked around a couple of times with that, and she just straight away riding a bike, and it was going round and round and round. You couldn't stop her. I think she should sort of turn around and go the other way so you can learn to steer in the other direction then. But yeah, I was quite surprised. Now my daughter, my eldest daughter, Karina, you've seen her before. She's in a live stream a few weeks ago. And when we tried to teach her to ride a bike, Caroline had a great idea. Push her as fast as you can and let go. She just went to the edge. I had it on video as well. Oh God, that was so funny. That's when video was at VHS-C or some VHS-S. The VHS-S, the little tiny tapes. As we've seen, it's the civil servants who are expected to fall on their swords, yes, when this government steps out of line. Similarly, Sue Gray won't pipe ups about anything until she's safely retired. Yeah, you're probably right there, Betty. It's shockingly bad, isn't it? It's yeah. The only expression that is apparent when Doris is yes, shows her love for Johnson. Boris Johnson tells the truth. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit worried, isn't it? We're going finances across the world. Turkey as well, yeah, their inflation's around 60-70%, so I think I read somewhere. And so we have got quite a situation. So yeah, it's going to affect everybody, unfortunately. And that's not on the effect. We're in the world economy. This is the thing that's blinking Brexiters. Who put the cross in the wrong box? They can't seem to work out for themselves that we are a world economy and we require other countries to do financially well, because obviously if they are, they're buying from us. Vice versa. So what do? We put the cross in the wrong box and then we shut the door on, potentially hard-working people from the EU. Romanians, for instance. Working in the fields, doing the jobs that most Brits really did not want to be doing. I don't blame them either, quite frankly, because it's a horrid job. Hard work, back-breaking work. So, we can't get the people. Like Adam Possum was saying regarding he's blaming inflation on the fact that, especially the stagflation really, that we couldn't actually get the people to do the work. We've got the work, but can't get the people to do the work. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation really, so it's a bit of a problem. And the biggest problem for the UK is there is no solution. Yes, it will soften somewhat if the war in Ukraine eases, but long term, Brexit, isn't it? Welcome to Brexit, sir. I don't have a T-shirt actually. Welcome to Brexit, sir T-shirt where that's got a print on the back as well, which is there. It's all good in Britain. Oh my God. Oh dear. 2 years of pandemic, yeah, that ain't going to help, is it? And stock market goes up 50%. Of course there's going to be a reckoning. Yeah, but the problem with the UK, we just do not have the means that we have. It's like anything. If I was doing building work still, and I couldn't get the workers, I would have to pay more for those workers. So the building, whether they be on, what was it? What's the card? I used to have a card. I can't remember what it is now. But anyway, you get the workers and what have you, and I'd have to pay more money. If I got to pay more money, the costs go up. It's an ongoing problem, and everybody ends up paying more. And some people just cannot afford to have the work done, so it doesn't get done. So you get peaks and troughs. That's kind of how the economy works, I suppose. But if you can't get the people, visa schemes aren't going to do it. because they're not doing it, are they? Farmers, for instance, they're saying, no, we're not going to plant this year because we can't get people to work the fields anyway. And it's all very well for the likes of George Eustace to tell us all that we need to plant more. We need to invest more. And, invest more in machinery and mechanisation and stuff like that. You've got to have collateral to be able to do that. So you put your farm up for hock and then it doesn't work anyway. And some crops you can't mechanise. It's okay for grain and stuff like that. They're easy ones to mechanise. They've been pretty much mechanised for decades. Well, that's the other problem. It's a snowball of problems. If it's M. Carpenter, we've got, like, for instance, Andrew Bay constantly printing money. But the way he was doing it was quite... I don't think they used to do it that way before, but printing money, effectively, digital money, and then using that money to buy government bonds. So basically buying your own bonds with money that just says there. It's not real, it's just there. Oh, look, we've got money. It's just, miraculously. It's not based on anything. It's not like based on gold like it used to be. And now, so what's happening now is they're using those bonds as collateral, effectively, to borrow against, to try and keep their borrowing power up, so they get a better rate, etc., etc., etc. But it's fake. It's not real. You can't. Eventually, that gets to a point where you can't sustain it because you're pushing up the interest rates, and also the country's got to pay interest rates. Everyone else is having to pay interest rates as well, increased interest rates. And for way too long, this flipping central bank, Bank of England, and other banks as well, have been pushing the interest rates down to such low levels, like 0.25% or whatever it was, and below. And it's just not. You can't. It should never really gone below 2%. That's my feeling, anyway. That's nuts. So no one's going to save or invest for themselves, individuals that is, because they're making nothing on their investments, safe investments I'm talking about. Like, for instance, is it the interest you get in the bank, for instance, or ISAs and stuff like that. There's no point in doing it because you're not earning anything on it. So they end up making investments that aren't secure, such as Bitcoin. Well, that's plummeted to a low. It's like 22,000 now. Bitcoin that's really plummeted. It peaked in it last year, I think about November time, at around 80,000. I've never done Bitcoin, but obviously I do read the news. So loads of people made these investments in Bitcoin. It's worth less now than it was when they bought a coin. So they've lost money. People are losing all over the place. It's volatile. It's volatile investments, which is it's not safe. Now I'm a bit old school. For instance, if I pay this out, I want to see that come in. You know what I mean? It's a very old business model, really. You can speculate to accumulate, futures and stuff like that, commodities. But you still got something. The problem when you're constantly printing money, you've got nothing. Okay, you've got government bonds, but they're being devalued. So if you say invest in copper, for instance, or if you're Nestle, invest in water. If you invest in copper and other commodities like that, they'll always have some worth because they're always in short demand. Simon says Bitcoin uses as much power as the entire country of Ireland. I know. I didn't know about Ireland, but I know that obviously they use huge amounts of power. It's just incredible amount of power that they use. These machines are just running constantly at full whack, and they're all clocked up CPUs, so they're using more power anyway. And they're using crazy systems, like hydrogen or nitrogen systems, to keep the CPUs cool. And they're buying up the GPUs, the graphics processors, at a rate of knots. So the likes of you and I have to pay through the nose because of crypto. Mining. I don't fully understand it, to be honest, but the Luna. Is that the one that collapsed a few weeks ago? And lots of investors, I think I heard something a couple of weeks ago, I think, wasn't it? And that also hit Bitcoin as well, didn't it? I suppose what also happens when things like that happens regarding the lunar collapsing, it's about confidence again. It's like we see the value of the pound goes up and down, what have you, exchange rates, and a lot of it is influenced by confidence. is it somewhere where people want to invest? So it's all about futures again. It's not necessarily real, is it? It's not based on anything substantial. It's based on a feeling. It's yeah. Remember the 3 to 4,000 euro is what he gets. I'll spend money on food and others. Oh crikey! Bitcoin uses as much power on the island. Luna, yep. Bitcoin is now down, by a GPU. I really need to upgrade my computer, my main computer that I use. Not the one I use for streaming, although that needs upgrading as well. It needs some memory in that. The actual processor can cope, but it needs more memory, desperately. That's like anything, it's all money in it. But it's yeah, my main computer. I've been holding back with it because I use it for editing, and I edit 4K as well at times, so it needs to be quite fast. But I need a GPU, but they're so expensive at the moment. They really are. So like I say, hopefully they'll come down in price. I suppose stable coin, yeah. Oh, who's the country that's gone over to a crypto as their main currency? Aren't they going to be hit? Because they were warned by the Bank of England about not doing it. Don't do that, it's a stupid idea. Was it Venezuela or somewhere like that? You might have stuff in there actually. Everett W or the Everett TW. Oh, what's that mean? Anyway, yeah, you might have something there actually, because they need to release funds, don't they? You know, talk about the Russians releasing funds. That obviously, if there's a sell-off of any currency, it'll bring the value down. Supply and demand again, isn't it? It's like labour. You know, the labour as in people. You know, if you haven't got enough, the price goes up, and if there's too many people, the price goes down. The difference between crypto money is that the money is backed by crypto and money is that the money is backed by the taxpayer. People pretty much. Hence, taxes go up, and but the best way to get out of a recession is to invest in infrastructure, which gives people jobs, but also then you end up with something at the end of it. It has a value. And it can make money. So infrastructure is always the way. As far as I'm concerned, anyway. Oh, Ecuador. Ah, that's right, yeah. The Dominican Republic. Bankers. If bankers were a bad idea, Bitcoin is a terrible idea. Yes. I would like to understand it, because I know some people make quite a bit of money. Some friends of ours in England. Yeah, done quite well out of crypto. They invested big time at it or anything like that. They've been quite safe in little bits, so they haven't sort of stretched themselves too far. They started several years ago, so before it was getting to silly levels. So they've still probably got value in it. And I didn't quite understand it. Really, I really did not understand it at all. But what is it? What actually is it? It's not, because it's not physical. I'm a bit of a practical person. I like to have something that's physical in front of me so that I can see. It's it's quite cool to have something. You know, let's buy something. I'm not one. I don't like having to wait for stuff. Like for instance, if I got in my mind, I'm going to hand some money over. I want to take it with me. So the idea of online stuff where you've got to wait weeks for it, it bugs me. I don't mind if it's like a couple of days, but I hate waiting for things. I'm impatient. Russia has the veto powers in the UN. I know, and the Security Council, but Scotland has nothing like that in the UK. No, good point actually. Yeah, that's a very valid point. Is it because these people joined the Security Council of the UN, what have you, and Scotland, it's kind of the other way around? They were given it, maybe, or they took it. Productive infrastructure. China is running into pointless investment problem. They built apartment buildings without stairs and lifts. Oh, that's nuts. Well, China's got a major problem at the moment, haven't they? You know, and if the West doesn't buy or slows down purchase, well then China's even in a bigger problem. I think we're becoming more. I do actually believe people are becoming more aware of what's going on around them. It's not just because people obviously channels this and what have you, also the news and stuff like that. But I think people are generally, when you start seeing that your disposable income is getting to a point of shrinking, you look at ways to save money, and in 10 saves environment even, do you know what I mean? Because you're spending less. Look at lockdown. How much less production? You remember the satellite cams over China have shown huge waves of CO2 leaving China, and it pretty much went to zero during lockdown. And that's all started off again, and now they're digging up coal, releasing methane and CO2. We're doomed. The end is nigh. Build yourself a bunker. Get yourself a load of lead. If Putin gets away, you might need that anyway. Hello, Taradek. People who talk about China without going there should wind their necks in. Yeah, I agree. Now, don't get me wrong, Taradek. My point is, I've said this in previous videos, but not having begun China, is that the problem is us. We blame China for all the emissions, but we turn a blind eye to the fact that the emissions are there because we're buying stuff from China. I'm a culprit, we all are. We all do it all the time. And you go to the supermarket, you buy, I don't know, a bag of flour. That bag has probably been printed and made in China. The flour probably hasn't, but... So, really, I think we're all big hypocrites. I include, because I do preach about this stuff, but... I think we have to understand that the world is a messed up place. Back when the UN was formed, the Soviet Union, although one-party rule, several levels of checks and balances today, is one man's rule and no checks, all but no, exactly. It's a tyranny. Dictatorship. Hello, Mr. Scotch Pie. The wildlife came back during lockdown. It did. Even in the cities and stuff, people were hearing birdsong. Our streets were filled with bird boxes and foxes. No cars to scare them, no. And also, they're not stupid. They don't hang about where the air is bad. They just don't. They can smell all the toxins. They're very sensitive to that sort of stuff. I don't know if you can hear it. You can probably hear the birds in the background there, because I can hear them. They're all around my house. We haven't had any birds in the house. Normally we get hirondelles, but they'll be coming soon. They normally come into the house, they do, and sit on top of the units in the house. But we do get quite a variety. I think I'm being beckoned in a minute. I think I better say hello. I talked with a friend in China, says Joa. You don't know pollution until you go there. Air quality is very, very bad. In a good day, major cities, industrial zones. That China is the biggest hydroelectric system, has the biggest hydroelectric system in the world. Yeah, they've got huge. Yeah, I know that, Taradek, but they've got massive problems with a lack of power. They really have, and because of that, they've turned to blinking coal power. Basically, they're pumping more coal into their coal-powered stations. They're mining like crazy. Just look it up, mate. I mean, they really are. Oh, I didn't realise that. Oh, hang on, didn't they dam some places? Yeah, I remember. I read that somewhere where M. Carpenter says China's causing drought in Thailand due to their hydropower. Yeah, it's a shame, right? It's you know what we need? We need one ruler. It happens to be the Green Party. For everywhere. I know it sounds like a bit of a tyranny or a dictatorship, but it could be for the greater good. So all looking for the benefit of the planet, which is then the benefit for us. We live here after all. Why would we want to live in the place that we're destroying? Doesn't make any sense. People just want stuff. I know a lot of people, they don't appreciate the place they live. They look at this stuff and they think it's just mud. It's dirt. Ooh, it's dirty. Yeah. And there's nutrients that goes into your food that you eat. We do need to eat, That's quite important, really. I could probably do eating less, mind. The reason Westminster government has to hang on to Scotland is oil and gas. And, yeah, they changed all the blooming boundaries as well, didn't they, regarding the oil wells. The largest fishing grounds, yes, Scotch salmon, because the seas are colder, and supplier of most of the UK's energy and the banking system. Well, Mad Monk, you're probably going to be getting your India F2, and I think it's time. It is time for independence. I don't think you've been treated so badly over there. Shocking. Yeah, China's causing drought in Thailand due to the hydropower. Yeah, oh, come on. Yeah, I was joking, by the way. I knew it was going to happen. Plant loads of apple trees and rhubarb this year. Oh, they did, Herodec. That's cool. Yeah, we planted loads of fruit trees this year as well. So we've probably got about 20, 25 fruit trees now. When we first came here, we planted a few trees. In fact, a couple of them are behind you. Let's turn that around so you can see. There you go. Those 2 trees, they're 2 apple trees there. And we planted a load more down the back of the garden as well this year. But I think we've got about 25 now. 25 fruit trees must be, which is good. Mixture of, you know, peach, apple, pear, cherry, etc, etc, etc. There's a load of mirabelles as well behind you. They're like little yellow plums, very sweet yellow plums. So they're good though. A bit dried, they're fantastic. Like little sweets. Well, maybe M. Carpenter now that got rid of Scott. Oh yeah, the Prime Minister President of Australia, and Scott Hanson is, yeah, at least he's gone. Might stand more of a chance now, because he's just promoting coal, which isn't very good. Yeah, we've got rhubarb. The garden root type crops like that, the perennial crops, we've got a rhubarb, we've got horseradish. Lots of horseradish, whole row of this stuff. We can't eat that much horseradish, but other stuff we've got to stock them every year, perpetual plants. Variety of spinaches, shard stuff. We just do the old permaculture thing and keep it going. Oh, Westminster, not Westminster. Okay, sorry, Mad Monk. Oh, anyway, I better go and better say hello to my family. Thanks for joining us in that, and I better get these trees in as well, so the roots will be dry now, which won't be very helpful. No. So, I'm going to love you and leave, and hopefully I can see you tonight. It'll be going live about 9 o'clock BST. Hopefully I'll be on time. So, ta-ta. Pressing button. See you later, guys and girls.